Hello everyone, it's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. Couple of things from yesterday's video that I didn't point out that I wanted to point out and I didn't think of it until I made the video, and then a few things that people mentioned in the comments that I wanted to point out. Okay, so looking at this picture, I'm pretty sure that this gamma is painted because if you look at this transition right here, this is a paint transition, not a wrap transition between the black and the gray. And again, if you look at the gray here, you see a bolt going through it, and this looks definitely like it's painted, not wrapped. And if you look up here, this definitely looks like paint as well on the black. And I do like that the hinge looks pretty beefy. I think this is one of the hinges for the door looks very beefy. And really the fit and finish of this gamma, if you look along the seams here, is quite impressive. It looks really good. Um, And then the other thing I wanted to mention is someone mentioned this in the comments that the white portion looks like it's textured as well. And that's right. This white portion of the yoke looks textured and there's this stitching on the material. So they're thinking that the black part here is fabric as well. But I'm not too sure about that because, if they made this whole thing fabric, I think that would be a terrible idea because that's going to get very dirty very, very quickly, especially this white color. It's going to get so I think this is some kind of textured pleather looking thing, plastic or some kind of leather type material that's stitched on there and is textured so that it's easier to clean. The other thing that I want to mention here is I don't see any solar panels here. So it's a little hard to tell, but I don't think that there's any solar panels on this dash. So one of two things is happening, or one of three things is happening. One, they decided not to put solar panels on the dash, which I actually would be in favor of because where I live is extremely hot, and you have to put some kind of reflective windshield cover, or your car essentially turns into an oven because of the greenhouse effect. So having solar panels on the dash makes it so that I don't want to put a reflective windshield cover on because then I don't get the solar gain from the panels on the dash. But then the dash will just bake, and the inside of the car will bake. So I'm not opposed to them changing their mind and not putting solar panels on the dash. Okay, so option number two, they haven't installed it yet, which seems weird because it seems like it would be very hard to install it after the fact. Um, Option number three is that the Gamma will not have solar panels on it, which I think would be very disappointing if that's the case, because I think that the Gamma should be a fully functioning production intent vehicle. The Alphas didn't have climate control. Um, their nav system and their UI system didn't really work. It just showed like the full mileage no matter what. And they had a smaller battery in the Alphas. So hopefully on the Gamma they have the full 40 kilowatt battery pack. They have a functioning UI and they have a functioning HVAC system, and they should have a functioning solar system because the solar's cells on the Alpha were just decals. They were there for aesthetics. They're not functional solar panels. So the Gamma should have functional solar panels. So if they decide to skip the solar panels on the Gamma, even though they plan on putting it in the production vehicle, I think that would be a problem. So hopefully, one, they decided not to put solar panels on the dash. That would be the best option for me. I think that would be perfect because I don't want solar panels on the dash. And honestly, I think that the best option would be for Aptera to sell a foldable solar panel that would clip in and you can raise on the windshield when you park it, and then it plugs into like a port on the dash. It's probably way too late in the design. If they haven't already thought of it, it's probably not going to implement. But that would be ideal. Then you could just like put up a windshield cover that is essentially a solar panel, that's custom made for it and fits in there. That would be the ideal solution for me. Okay, the other thing I noticed is there's no visor. There's no sun visor, and I don't think that there's gonna be a visor because it wasn't on the renders. And if you look here, they don't have any places where you could put the visor. There's no like little port here where like you would install the visor. So it doesn't look like there's gonna be a visor. I don't think that that's a problem. You can just put a dark tint on the upper part of the windshield and deal with that. But I don't think there's a visor. Or maybe they're just not putting the visor into the Gamma, but they plan on putting it in the production vehicle, which also I think would be a little disappointing because, again, I think the Gamma should be the fully production intent vehicle so they can get all their suppliers lined up. They have all their parts so they can get ready to start production. And they need several months of lead time to do that. Also, in this vehicle, either the back hood is open or it's not installed. They haven't installed the back hood because it's way too bright back here. And you can see the loading deck here, but it's way too bright back here. And again, here you see that there's no place that you can mount a visor. So I don't think, my guess is no visor is happening. And then people mentioned about this. So I think in the renders, the rear view, and it's not a rear view mirror. Remember, it's going to be a screen that displays the rear view camera. Full time is going to be the rear view quote mirror, where a rear view mirror would be on a normal car. In this vehicle, it is just a screen. And they've said that multiple times. And so that's why if the hood is covered with solar panels, it doesn't matter because it's not a mirror. You don't have to look through the hood, the hatch. Um, and it's just going to be a screen that shows the rear view camera. Now, people have mentioned maybe instead of having this, they're going to display it on here and have the rear view here. And I think I could totally get used to that. I don't think it would take too long to get used to it. And so if that's saving them some money, I think I'm okay with that. And you could have this thing split up between rear views and like the side view screens. It looks like it's one continuous screen, so I'm guessing in software you can configure this to display what you like. Maybe you can have the side views display all the time, the side rear view mirrors display all the time, as well as the center rear view camera display all the time, or maybe you can just have it set so that it's usually the rear view and like the speedometer, and then when you put the turn signals on, it shows the side. So I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's going to be configurable. I hope it is. It seems like it would just make more sense that way because it's a single screen and just you can do everything in software. Anyways, I think that this being painted is a good sign because I made a video a long time ago about the concerns about a wrap. If you look at 3M's wrap site, they do not warranty their wraps in sunny areas. And wraps degrade, according to people that have put wraps on cars, within 3 to 4 years in sunny areas. And I live in a very sunny area, and the car is meant to be put out in the sun because it's a solar vehicle. And so, unless wrap technology has, there's something that they know that we don't know, and that 3M is and other big wrap manufacturers are not letting us know about. Wraps do not last a long time. To be honest, paint doesn't last a long time in the sun. The sun is very, very harsh. So, but paint definitely lasts longer than a wrap. And many of us were concerned about wrapping a vehicle that's supposed to be out in the sun. So this looks like paint. I don't know if they're just painting the Gamma and they're going to wrap the production cars, but I'm fairly certain this is paint and not a wrap because I don't think wraps can look like this. All right. Well, those are the things that I wanted to mention that I didn't quite get into in the first video. Hopefully, we're getting more details, lots of details this week. I'm eagerly awaiting it. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thank you to our supporting members, as always, and have a great day, everyone.